community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Join us every Thursday morning
from 6 until at least 7:30.
Check out the Bobby G and Company Show
right here on WSKB 89.5
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Okay.
8:08 and change? Or should I just wait for 8:08 and 3/4?
You better wait.
Well, I did.
Okay, so we're good.
See what I did there?
I know. I'm so tired, so I'm not my cheery self today. Wake me up if I fall asleep here on the desk. We went out.
What?
Ooh, you got some pie, eh? Can I have a piece?
Sure.
Ooh, let me have some of that Cool Whip.
What'd you say? You can't have a pie without Cool Whip. Cool Whip? Cool Whip, yeah. You mean Cool Whip? Yeah, Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Cool Whip. You're saying it weird. Why are you putting so much emphasis on the H? What are you talking about? I'm just saying it. Cool Whip. You put Cool Whip on pie. Pie tastes better with Cool Whip. Say whip. Whip. Now say Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Cool Whip. You're eating hair.
Oh, jeez. Every time I see it,
That wake you up a little bit?
I hope so. I have to get smiley and happy and cheerful. But you know what? Here's what happened. We were at rehearsal for Robin Hood last night, and the cast decided to go out afterwards. So it was way past my bedtime. Way past my bedtime. So I'm trying to get myself up and excited and cheerful and pumped up for this. Okay, I can do this.
Tell Nick Odell to stop shanghaiing you.
Well, they did. They dragged me out. They dragged me out against my bed. No, I'm kidding. Actually,
I seen him posting about that show.
it was his mom's birthday last night.
Oh, that's right. He did post about that. I
Yes.
saw that.
Long live the Queen. Long live the Queen. There you go. Good morning. Oh, wait. This is Ken. I keep forgetting. Okay. I'll be quiet.
You're practicing.
Oh, by the way, I have some good news for you, Ken. Oh, are you waiting to say
Go.
something?
By all means, go on.
Oh, I was
ahead.
at an event on Saturday, and this man stopped me and he said, "Wait a minute, are you the lady that's on TV?" So that might mean we have 27 people.
All right.
It's getting up there. We might hit 30.
God help them, each and every one.
Good morning. Go for it. I'll be quiet. I can.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I can do this now?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Double checking, making sure you're not going to jump in here.
Maybe I've been with Bob too long.
Today is the 12th day of March in the year 2024, Anno Domini. This is the Den. Not Kathy's Corner, but this is the Den, Ken's Den.
The views expressed by the host during his monologue are those solely of his own, not those of Westfield State University, the Radio Club, the underwriters, the trustees. I'm running out of things to say. Or somebody going by in the parking lot. And now,
I'm just looking at the monitor in here. Both of our hair is lighter today.
I have the good camera on you guys now.
Mine is still covered.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it was moved.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
All right. Well, that would do it.
It's a better image than the other ones.
But I did notice that when I was standing over there. You're right. You're right. It is different.
In the monitor, yeah.
Yep. You're right.
And
You're
people
right.
say I don't pay
Absolutely.
attention.
It actually looks sharper.
Nice job.
Is that really that light now?
Yeah.
Wow. If it reflect, yeah, it's reflecting my weight loss too. Look at that.
Good for you, though. Good for you. Excellent job. I'm proud of you.
So welcome to the Den, where we're diving into the timeless topic of time itself.
Peter.
Yes, folks, it's that time of year again.
Oh, okay.
Daylight savings time. Or as I like to call it, the biannual ritual of confusing clocks and confusing people.
And animals.
Now, for those of you who may not know, daylight savings time was originally concocted in the days of yore to give farmers more daylight to work their fields. Because apparently, cows have a bedtime and we wouldn't want to disturb their beauty sleep.
I heard that's a myth.
But hey, I'm all for it. More daylight time means more time to bask in the glorious sunshine and pretend I'm not late for work. But let's talk about the elephant in the room right now, all right? Standard time. Who invented that guy? Standard time. More like, sorry, it's dark at 4 p.m. time. I mean, come on. Winter's like the awkward dinner party where the guest that you don't want just won't leave. Can we just please RSVP no to standard time and be done with it?
Good idea.
And speaking of being done with things,
Uh-oh.
can we talk about this whole government indecision?
About everything?
They're flip-flopping more than a fish out of water. Do we keep daylight time? Do we go back to standard time? Make up your minds, people.
Side.
I've got appointments to keep and Netflix to binge watch.
Oh, jeepers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And let's not forget about the joy of adjusting to the time change. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded while riding a unicycle. I'm pretty sure it's scientifically proven to make people less productive. I mean, who needs that extra hour of sleep anyway? Oh, wait, I do.
Uh-oh.
But hey, it's not all bad news. At least daylight savings time serves as a gentle reminder to change the batteries in our smoke alarms. Because apparently, nothing says safety first like risking life and limb to climb a ladder and swap out a couple of Duracells.
Okay. Yeah.
But don't get too comfortable with that, folks. The government is now telling us we need to replace the whole darn smoke detector because apparently batteries aren't good enough anymore.
Oops.
What's next? Fire extinguishers with built-in GPS?
Oh. Don't put that out there.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Well, folks, whether you love it or hate it, daylight savings time is here to stay.
Unfortunately.
For now. So until they figure out a way to turn back the clock without actually turning back the clock, I'll be here, waiting. Same time,
Same place.
same channel. Or is it? I don't even know anymore.
Where are we? Yeah, that was rather mild for you, though. That was mild. Mm-hmm. But you don't like daylight. I don't like it either. I wish they'd just.
Oh, I like daylight savings.
I know. But
I don't
wish
like
they'd
standard.
Yeah, I wish they'd stay.
Yeah, so,
on it and
the government.
I don't like the change.
There's been a lot of talk the past
Get
few
it?
years
Yeah,
about.
they can't
just-
There's been a lot of talk for the last 2 decades.
Yes.
And do we
You're right.
actually keep daylight as the new standard or use standard? And
Yeah. What about?
I'm not jiggy with standard time year round.
Is this something that European nations do, or is it just here?
I'm not sure, but I know it was started for World War One.
Did it?
Yep, it didn't start to World War One. It's a myth that it's agrarian in nature.
Well, I don't think it's
Not-
nature
not-
as much as it's the planting and working in the field.
Not even all locations in
Is
the
it
country
animals?
follow it.
Well, there's a couple of Arizona, I think,
Arizona
and
doesn't.
part of Indiana.
I know Arizona didn't, so that makes it difficult because when you're flying, the hours are different too now when you fly. So instead of going back X amount of hours, Arizona's the only one different.
Is Arizona
else is the same.
mountain or Pacific?
Arizona
question.
Central, I thought.
Is it that far
Central.
over?
Yeah, I think they're Central.
Yeah.
We have this wonderful thing called Google hooked up to this.
The authority on
Is
the world.
Arizona.
The Google. What time? What time zone?
And of course, right now it's a Google Chrome new version.
Oh, goody. So we have to update.
And because I hit a button, it's now not responding.
Of course not, because you need it.
Yeah, I need it now. So
We always had that as a teacher. I would go in to run off something I needed right then, and it wouldn't be working.
one way or another, Google is going to be my friend. What time zone is Arizona?
Phoenix, Arizona is Mountain Standard Time.
Mountain Standard.
Mountain. I thought it was
Yeah.
too far west to be central.
If we're talking about time and space, we needed the TARDIS to take off first.
Good one. Good one, Peter.
Yeah. So,
Where is the TARDIS?
So mountain. Okay, so that's only an hour away from Pacific. And if you're going to be going over to that side of the country or flying to that side, what the hell is an hour, an extra hour, plus or minus?
To me, everything. I'm still making up for that hour's sleep I lost on Saturday night, Sunday morning.
We did the Pops concert on Saturday night.
Yep.
What time did you end up getting out of there, Ken?
I got home at 11:03.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
No,
I
What
got
time
out of
did you
there.
get
I
in?
got home around 10:15.
Yeah.
But then I had to wake up the next morning and go to work at Mount Holyoke, and I had to be there at 7,
Right.
which kind of stinks.
Yeah, we had a student helping us out who really knew his stuff, and he was really good. And then when it came time to load up the trailer, we had 2 additional people pushing things back and forth.
That's great.
So yeah, that
great when you have
wasn't
help.
horrible. Yeah.
It's great when you have help. We had Maddie Bassell's dad helped us on camera Saturday night, and it was a far better product than Kenny trying to juggle 2 cameras.
Yeah, we're not going to be showing the footage we shot on night 1.
Right.
Why is that?
Because we were
It was a
down
little
a
rough.
man, and I was trying to juggle 2 cameras, and you need constant with the automated cameras with the joystick controls. You need full concentration in order to operate one, and I was trying to operate 2.
Okay.
So, when is that beautiful footage going to be available, Peter?
I'm working on it today.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday I had a whole bunch of paperwork to do that I had to get done. So
Yeah.
there was that.
Yeah. I was so tired and worn out and beat by the time I got home for that, I couldn't sleep.
Overtired.
So I watched
You
my
get
clock.
overtired.
I watched my clock go from 1:59 to 3.
Apparently, so did Don Humison because he posted a video of it.
Really?
I saw that. I was like, okay.
Remember that time when our phone was wonky when we were in I think it was Chincoteague, and we were down there for a launch, and we were dealing with
Daylight savings time.
yeah, and we were
You thought the alarm wouldn't go off.
the alarm went off an hour late.
No. No, you perceived it would be. You set your alarm for a different time because you thought your phone wouldn't change. Remember that?
No, I was expecting the phone to change. I expected the phone to
Oh,
change.
no. I know what it was.
What was
it?
it?
Was an overnight launch, and we had to set the alarm before the time change.
Exactly, yeah.
And you set it for the time change, and I had to when I
Yep.
called you. When I called you, it was like, no, the time changes an hour after we have to be up and showered and ready to go because the launch was at like 2:00 in the morning or 3:15 or something like that. But we had to be at the press center at like 1, and then the thing changed between the time we had to be at the press center
Gotcha.
and then the time they drove us out to the launch pad. That was the problem. And you couldn't wrap your brain around the fact that you had to do it under standard time, not daylight savings time.
No, that wasn't it.
Yeah, that was it.
Dear God.
I recollect that
All
perfectly
right, children.
because we were one of the first ones there in the parking lot.
Because I remember waking up kind of late because of this and rushing in order to get out there.
Yeah, because you thought it was later than it was.
So it was
And
already
we were early.
It was already after 2 a.m. It might have been like a 5 or 6 o'clock launch or something like that.
I just remember us being the first ones in the parking lot.
We always are.
Yeah, but we were like way early.
Yeah, I was okay. What ended up happening was I expected the phone to change appropriately with the alarm. So
Right.
I set it for the proper time.
Right.
But with the time change, the phone thought I was an idiot or I was stupid and didn't take that into consideration. So it moved my alarm back an hour. That's what happened to me that morning. The phone thought, okay, well, you wanted to wake up at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So you are going to wake up at 2 o'clock, but we're shifting it back an hour after we already went forward because we don't think you're smart enough to compensate for the time change overnight.
Okay.
I remember it took me like an hour to figure out what the hell my phone did.
I'm confused.
You know, regardless, you know, we made it to the launch and everything, but yeah, the phone assumed I was stupid and compensated for my compensation.
Okay. Whatever. I'm not sure. I follow
Whatever.
it, but I'll go along with that story. I can see where that might happen. Sometimes they change. When we were up in Alaska, I had to set it to change because it didn't want to change. So the phones are really glitchy. Maybe it thought you were somewhere else.
It's
I
gotten
don't
better.
know.
It usually picks up the time zone from wherever you're at.
Well, there's a setting on my phone
Yeah,
is
to
an
automatically pick up the
it's
time
an
zone.
automatic time setting. But for some reason, Peter didn't want to do that. I don't know why. I had to go in and do it manually.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Like he said, maybe the phone didn't think I was smart enough. I don't know. Or maybe the phone was still in New England. Who knows? Who knows what happens with the time change?
Yeah,
I once asked, though, you were talking about the animals, and I once asked Terry if the cows, if it was an issue with milking them an hour different one way or the other, and I thought he said no, it didn't. It's only an hour. It doesn't make that big difference, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it probably doesn't. It screws up humans more than it does everybody else.
It just, I don't know, because sometimes if they would have to milk at a different time every once in a while if the machines go down or you lose power. I don't know that that's really true.
Usually the hour one way or the other when we change clocks, it doesn't bother me.
It shouldn't. I don't know why.
It messed me up because of the fact that I got home and I was so tired and so exhausted I couldn't sleep.
Well,
so I lost more time there, but
yeah. Take it from what happens when you get home, when you've been involved, like when I'm involved with rehearsal or the show, and you get home and your body is still going because you've been working for 5 hours, taping and doing things. Your body is still going, ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. And then you get home, and it's very hard. I don't know if you find it, but it's very hard to decompress. So it's hard to get to sleep. It's hard to let your mind stop and say, okay, it's bedtime now. And I think that's
brain chatter's a bad thing.
It's a neurological issue that you
brain chatter's a bad thing.
I for some reason I struggle some mornings getting through the 2 hours, and it's not you guys, don't take it personally, but I come home from rehearsal, I know I have to get up the next morning, and I'm nervous about, like you said, you're afraid you're not going to wake up, so I'm going a mile a minute in my head, and I can't sleep, but it's the perfect storm.
For those of you at home that heard somebody in the background, that's just Al bellowing through the hallway.
Okay. Okay, then.
Al can be Al projects very, very well.
How did it get to be 8:25? How did that happen? Are we in a time warp? Wasn't it just 8 o'clock?
We started late anyway.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know it could be 8:25. So all of a sudden.
We got in the TARDIS. And we transported ourselves to 8:25.
I knew that was coming. Did you not know that?
Well, I knew it because I had it queued up here. If I just push the button and it happens.
Or if we really want to go.
Ooh. Yes, that was a great show. I love that show.
That's older than dirt. That hasn't aged well, has it? Wayne's World?
No.
I don't know.
No.
You don't seem
Party
about
Time,
it anymore.
excellent.
Yeah.
That lasted for a while.
Well,
but you know that time shift. When I go 3 hours west to Pacific time.
Gotcha.
I don't need to adjust. I function perfectly fine on the West Coast.
You don't get tired by nighttime?
I get tired by nighttime at night, wherever I am.
Okay.
Right?
You have trouble up north.
But what happens is after a week of being on the West Coast, I get back over here. I don't have my awake and sleep cycles messed up, but I'm on West Coast time for 2 or 3 days.
I can see that happening.
But it doesn't happen going over. It only happens going back. Do I have to worry about ocean time when I go on this cruise in January?
No, you kind of lose track of time on a cruise.
Yeah. I don't know if you cross over into another time zone.
No, you don't.
You probably don't. But it is hard, Peter. You're right. It's hard to realistically.
Mexico isn't central?
You're going towards Mexico?
Yeah.
That might be Pacific.
I don't know. Look it up. Come on, look it up. Come on, Google. Tell us the answer. We need to know. Instant gratification.
What time zone is Mexico?
Instant gratification. Here we go.
The time zone in Mexico City, CDMX, Mexico, is Central Standard Time.
There you go.
South from Texas, and Texas is central. So when I wonder if Cozumel is, what time zone is Cozumel?
The time zone in Cozumel is Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, there won't be any adjusting.
So you'll be okay coming back. Now, how many days are you on that cruise?
4.
You will love it. You will love it. Honestly, it's well, maybe you won't. Some people don't. Some people get bored on the cruise, but I could have sat there and watched the ocean forever. It's just something about it that's so peaceful, and so I loved it. I would go again.
I purchased the Cheers package.
Yes, that would be a good one for you. It wasn't for us because we purchased it too, but it was money not spent. For those of you that are cruising or thinking of cruising, you can buy a drink package that pays for everything above board. And that's the nice thing about the cruises, is usually everything is covered. There are some things that are not. So don't assume it. Always ask. Some of the restaurants are not covered by your package.
Specialties are not.
Yeah, so you have to make sure you know. But with the drink, for someone like my kids went, and they enjoy the cocktails and the drinks. I don't. I drink soda. So for me, Peter, it was a waste of money. It was a total, I won't even say how much. It was just a waste.
Yeah.
But for someone who likes going into a restaurant or going into they have a lot of lounges that are fun. They have lounges on the main mezzanine where you can sit and watch bands and watch dancing, and they have like little contests going. There's always something going in the center of the
I just want an umbrella drink
It's
brought to
fun.
me at the pool.
And they will do that. And it's, when you go to the pool, there's all kinds of things to do at the pool. Honestly, there's sushi bars, there's hamburger places, there's fish places, there's ice cream.
Who can eat anything when they're hanging out at a pool?
Oh, they all do.
You know, and I
Not in the hot tub. We won't have grinders in the hot tub, I promise.
You know, and I see people in Vegas, you know, the Flamingo pool. You know, they're out. It's 100 degrees out. The sun is blasting on you, and you're eating a burger. I mean, how can you even do that?
Some people do, some people
Oh
don't.
man,
But they will bring you your drinks. So for
it's
someone
giving
who
me
likes
GERD
it,
right
it's
now
worth
just
it.
thinking about it.
I could eat.
Bird.
No comment. I'll be quiet.
Yeah. So
Right.
one thing I have read about with the cruises is you're always in a line.
That's not always true.
No, I don't think that's true. I didn't see
Ha-
that.
half an hour to get a piece of pizza you know,
No.
at night.
No.
That's what I'm reading.
No.
No.
We never
There
had
people
an
are going
issue
all at the
getting a
same
thing.
time because I've never waited more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I don't think so. There's so many places on the ship. Well, I don't know what kind of ship you're going on, but there were so many places where we were, and you can make reservations in some of the specialty restaurants, so that's really not an issue. They do tell you.
Yeah, if there's free food available, I won't be doing any of the specialty restaurants.
And there is free food. I don't know
Sometimes
if
in
it-
your package, though, you have an upgraded package. They'll throw one or two of those in for free.
we
You got to
had-
check your package. Because we have on the Princess package that we have or whatever, there's 2 specialty bookings for that.
We had bookings in the restaurants. We mostly ate upstairs in the marketplace, the buffet. They change it every day. And there's always, they have everything you can possibly imagine. And honestly, if you hit it at the right time, you don't want to go at late because then it's over and it's sort of been there a while. But
I go to breakfast right off the bat.
Yeah, we used to do that. We would get up there for breakfast. You can always get something good to eat. They go from Italian, they'll have Chinese, they'll have steak, they'll have roast beef, they'll have seafood.
Breakfast room service is included with my package.
Yep, room service. Oh, believe me, my children use room
And you know,
service
everyone's
more than anything.
Ken, you can eat whatever you want at any time of the day. And
Yep.
with the Ozempic I'm on,
Yep.
I eat crumbs every now and then, and I'm done.
Wow.
I mean, so you know, endless food is not a
You can get drinks
it's
delivered.
not a
to
deal or a deal breaker for me.
Ice cream delivered to your room. We had free ice cream.
You know,
That was
well, when I went to Florida a few weeks ago, $50 fed me for the entire frickin' week.
Good for you. Excuse me.
And that was going across the street to get a pizza and a thing of sushi at some point.
Speaking of pizza, they're closed.
Yeah, and
Well,
I was
I
in
guess
Florida
you
when all that came down, and I didn't get a chance to get a steak bomb.
Well, you probably wouldn't anyway. They ran out of food. They couldn't answer their phone. They were slammed.
Yeah.
But oh well, my life will change.
And I
Pizza is
remember
gone.
in my middle school days, sitting down there playing Donkey Kong on a table console.
Donkey Kong.
And
Do
then
they still have arcade machines?
and
there?
then the old man would kick us out at lunchtime because he didn't want us there. And then high school, I would stop off to get a grinder on my way home as I was walking home back up to Crown, and I'd have the grinder there. But then a few years later, I'm back home, and I'm staying out back there for a few months while I'm waiting for a house to close because we had just closed the condo or sold the condo, and I was either working downtown or hanging out downtown. So
Now, wait, let me ask you.
and this was when they were open late.
What's downtown?
Westfield, downtown
No,
Westfield.
but downtown where? North End? Is that
Downtown.
You call that downtown?
Downtown.
Okay.
Down street.
South people didn't call it
Yeah,
downtown.
down street.
That was the North End.
No, this is Elm. I'm talking Elm.
Wasn't downtown.
Yeah.
If you lived on the south side, downtown was the south side of the bridge. You people up on the other end, boy.
I'm talking about the south side of the bridge. Elm.
I know it. That's not the south side. That's the north side of the bridge.
No, that's North Elm.
Yeah. Will you stop it? It's north. When I was growing up, Peter, help! The south side of the bridge was considered downtown.
That's what I'm referring to.
We are not talking about where Elm Pizza is.
No, that's the north side. That's North Elm.
Okay.
They call it Elm Pizza, but it's really North Elm.
Is it North Elm? Is that really where North Elm's? I don't know.
North Elm.
It starts right right at the edge of the bridge.
Okay.
So I am talking about downtown. I'm talking about down street.
Down street. Down street.
All
You
right.
don't hear
All
that
right.
anymore.
Green Bridge at the Casket Company.
Okay.
That's where downtown starts.
Okay. All right. I'll go with that.
So I was hanging out downtown, and this way back then, Elm was just like open almost all the time. So I'm walking home at night, midnight or whatever. Oh, I'm hungry. Got to stop in there and get a cold cut grinder to bring home. A midnight cold cut grinder from Elm was one of the best things in the world.
I know. So now we need to find a new spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
Where's the best place after that?
It depends on what you're after, because one place I'm aware of makes a good grinder if you're talking cheesesteak, but not a good cold cut. So you have to bounce around depending on what you're in the mood for. There's not one simple to go to place for a grinder anymore.
Oh dear. The one thing I remember, though, I know about North Elm is their grinders were filled. I mean, you can't say it wasn't worth the money.
Yeah. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be putting a bug out in people's ears on social media about how all of a sudden I'm craving a steak bomb.
Does anybody even make them?
Well, here's the thing. A steak bomb is a New England thing, but
What is
a
it?
steak bomb is really a Philly steak with like salami on it. And that's what a steak bomb
I've
in New
never
England
had
is.
one, so I don't know.
Well, Elm, they put onion rings and mozzarella sticks on it with ketchup and mayo and
Oh, be still my heart after that one.
yeah. And you can find steak bombs, quote unquote,
You can find Philly cheese. a lot.
throughout the country made that way, but you have to really go searching. So I'm going to put it out in people's ears. We have 85 different places you can get a grinder or a pizza or whatever in town. One of these places should learn how to
do
make
it.
one of those steak bombs. I guarantee them that they will get business because of it.
I've never had one. I usually just got the cold.
Oh my
cut
God, they're so
or,
good.
I got
That and the
meatball.
burger bomb.
Never had that one either. Now
Yep.
I never will. Oh, I don't know what I'm going
I missed the 9/11 Their
On Feeding Hills Road.
yeah, I missed their cheeseburger thing. They call it the Bomber.
Where was that, Peter?
On Feeding Hills Road.
Burgers and Dogs.
911 Burgers and
Oh,
Dogs.
yes, I know where you are.
It's now the farm to table joint.
Yeah, I know where you are. Huh, I never stopped there. I would never think of going there. Interesting. Where do you get your pizza, Peter?
We usually go up by the house. Whatchamacallit? It's right down the street there.
Santorini?
No, the other
No,
one.
The other one?
Is it Alessio?
Alessio's, yeah. The guy that used to own Gigi's.
Yeah, we used to
For the
go there
his
from
kid.
school. I used to go there from school, yeah, and get pizzas. And
Did-
they
did-
were good.
Didn't Calabrese sell that a while back?
Maybe.
I think he did. I don't.
Maybe.
If you look at the menu system, it's the same as some of the other pizza places here in town. If you can follow what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
kind of.
I'm pretty sure when it first opened up, it was a big thing. They'd mention on the menu, the Calabrese family from original Gigi.
Is that from Southwick? The Calabrese from Southwick?
Right? Yeah, same family. And I'm pretty sure that that the kid sold it, and it's not.
There
family
used to be
anymore.
they started the stand and they had the big farm out there. On Route 57, was it, Peter? The big Calabrese farm?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. I see the name frequently, and I always wondered if it was all the same family.
So Alessio's, they have some of the better pricing in town.
Interesting.
And when you go on to, if you order online for delivery, there's no local business fee attached.
I don't think Elm had a fee.
And
did
there's
they?
there's reasonable delivery fees there. Well, if there are any at all, it might have been $1 or $2, but there are some places in town that, unfortunately, they make a pretty good pizza, but they tack on the local business fee at the end, and I find that insulting. Yeah, I'm going to support a local business, but now when you're charging me as a local business to support you, I'm not. And there's a couple other places that do the same thing, and I just don't give them my business anymore. If you need that extra 75 cents,
Raise your price.
raise your damn prices, okay? Don't insult my intelligence. Just bring your pricing up.
Well, there's a lot of that happening with fees. Fees are showing up everywhere there. So it looks like it's a cheaper price, but then they nickel and dime you with fees. So it's not just restaurants doing it. A lot of services are doing that.
You know who doesn't do that? Southwest Airlines.
Okay. I don't fly, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm always looking for a last minute deal because I have the ability if I want to. There's something going on next week. Okay, I can do it. I can't always afford it, but I have the time in order to do it most of the time.
Yep.
So I'm always looking for last minute deals. So I'm seeing these. All right, $39 for a ticket on Breeze or one of those similar airlines, Spirit. I think Spirit's going to be gone pretty soon.
Why do you think that?
They've been leaving some airports, and it looks like they're actually reduced. Although Logan, they increased some of their flights, but they just tried to merge with JetBlue, and the government wouldn't allow it.
No, why not?
It would decrease competition.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I see $39. Okay. Oh, I want to bring my laptop bag on me into the flight. That's $75 for you to bring your bag.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not saying it's 75, but
No, but that's-
but by the time I looked at, I have a duffel bag for my stuff and my laptop bag because I need to travel with it because I need to be able to work remotely. So now that's 2 bags. So the checked bag, and it's not even 50 pounds anymore. Some airlines have dropped it to 40.
40, I've seen that. Yep.
So let's say it's $60 for the bag. All right. And then, oh, I have a carry-on. That's another 40 or 50.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you want to actually choose your seat instead of us assigning you a middle seat next to,
God knows who.
to
Charge.
Children.
Yep, charge. So now I end up looking at this $39 flight, and it's now cost me more than it would be just to go and grab a flight from Southwest.
Yeah. I get your point. I think you're accurate. I think when you're traveling, you have to be able to compare and look at different prices.
And I was going to say, I'm frugal.
We hadn't noticed that, Peter, did we?
I always look at the gotchas. Always.
Well,
look
you
at the
really
gotchas.
have to because it's gonna, be the bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting
so-
that when you travel, you need to know what you're doing.
And so I'm always looking at deals. Now, we talked. I booked my first cruise and coming up in January. I'm looking at other cruises that I can get a deal on, and if I can get one in November, I'll go on one in November. So I'm able to do it, but
I'm hoping you like it. I really do. I hope you like it, honestly, because it's a lot of time spent if you don't. If you get on board and you hate it, you're in big trouble because there's nowhere to go unless you swim. And that's a long way to swim. You don't want to swim.
I don't go in large bodies of water.
Why not?
Fish procreate in it.
Yeah, well, yes, they do.
Yeah.
They're not going to eat you, though. They will not hurt you. Although
There's
there
some
could be
fish down there
sharks.
that would.
Could be sharks. I never saw any, but there could be.
Yeah.
I did see whales, only at a distance. I didn't see any close up. They always advertise that you're going to see all these whales and stuff. Yeah, you really
Big deal.
No, you don't.
I could care less.
Once in a while, you do.
You know what I could care less? I could care less about continuing this conversation right now. Do you have anything queued up, Peter?
Quarter of 9.
Sure.
All right. Let's give everyone's ears a break.
is where we shall meet again. If ever the time keeps flowing like a river to the sea.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for Arts Beat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Who's the big fat president whose suits look like a flannel circus tent? Right on. Who's that presidential chub got stuck in the White House tub?
William Howard Taft.
That's true. He did.
They say this Cap Taft is a fat mother.
Shut your mouth.
I'm just talking about Taft.
And we can take it.
Shut your mouth.
That was true. They did have to put in a new bathtub because he was so heavy. He was a big man.
Mm-hmm.
And they absolutely did. So there you go. There's your little factoid for the week.
If you have a
fellas.
bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
Friend.
You're
They were
supposed
going
to say
to say
shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Don't go there. All righty. What have we got left, sir?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, dear.
When you don't know, we got a problem.
I know. Yeah, right. Right, Peter. Yes, we do have a problem. So I will say...
Houston, we have a problem.
So I will say in the meantime, while we're waiting for you to figure out what we're doing...
Boring!
That we have Robin Hood coming up the first 3 weekends in April at the Westfield Theater Group, a department of the Westfield Women's Club. Robin Hood is played by Carl Schwarzenbach. We have several Westfield people, and we have newcomers from the outside. So please come and see us. Tickets are on sale at westfieldtheatergroup.com. Thank you. This message will delete. Beep.
This message will self-destruct in
It
5
will
seconds.
Self-destruct. There you go. What do you got here? Uh-oh. Every time I read these, I think of you. When I come across one that I stop and I read it and I go, what? What? You are seriously asking about that?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
All right. Found one.
All righty.
Oh, you do you?
Yeah.
Dear Abby.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
My husband never wears his wedding ring. In fact, he wears jewelry only when going out. I brought this to his attention many times over the years. Most recently, I noticed he donned all his going out jewelry with another ring on his right ring finger. It's as if he consciously chose to wear all the jewelry except the wedding ring. I have noticed this many times and have questioned it. His answer is always, I can't wear it with what I do for a living. Abby, he works in an office by day and drives a boat in his spare time. Please help me clarify this. Signed, Incomprehensible in New Jersey.
For a Jersey girl, you ain't that smart.
You think?
Well, perhaps he's allergic to metal.
Now, she doesn't go
Perhaps
on to
he's allergic
say...
to marriage.
She doesn't go on to say when he wears all of his going out jewelry, if it's them two going out. She doesn't specify whether he's going out alone with his going out jewelry or if it's them two together.
Interesting.
But I would have picked that apart first.
Yeah.
I would have needed clarification on that.
What was her answer?
Well, before we get to that, what do you... Oh, yeah, you already said, yeah, for a Jersey girl, she was not smart.
Read the message, honey. Do you need a sign? Maybe she needs a sign. Why do people ask these questions? You know what? They know the answer. They're just looking for validation.
You think?
Yes.
So you think he's wearing his going out jewelry without her?
Yeah, well, they're either looking for you to say he's doing something he shouldn't be, which she really already knows, or she wants you to say, oh, it's perfectly innocent and make her feel better.
It's called validation.
Yeah, that you're exactly right, Peter. That's what it is. They want validation for what they're thinking. They don't really want your advice because they're not going to listen to it anyway.
Right.
Nobody ever listens to advice. That's my advice.
All right.
Okay. I'll be quiet. So.
Abigail Van Buren responds.
Okay.
Dear Incomprehensible.
That in itself is hilarious.
If I had to guess, this is happening because your husband doesn't want to be easily recognized as married.
No. No, I can't believe that's the conclusion you would come to. Oh, my living.
Oh, my star.
So deep, so accurate, right on the money. God, that's why she makes the big bucks. That's it. That's it. Well, we could have predicted that one, couldn't we? Interesting. Is that all she said?
That's all she said
That's
on that
it?
one. Yeah.
So the moment of fame has fled.
But at the same time, we still haven't picked it apart. Is he wearing all of his going out jewelry with the two of them or just on his own?
And what's his going out jewelry? Does he have other rings he's wearing? Or
Yes, other rings.
Else?
Yeah,
Is he
a different ring.
If he's wearing a different ring, that really is pretty. That's a tell. That's a big tell. If he can wear a different ring, but he can't wear his wedding ring, that's a big tell. So if you don't want to wear your wedding ring, I would say it's that you don't want to tell people you're married. That would be my tell. I don't know about you. It's pretty obvious.
There are a lot of jobs where you can't wear them.
There are. If you're working around any kind of machinery, you're not supposed to be wearing a wedding ring.
Electrician.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah,
That's a big hunk of conductive metal.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. You're right.
Yeah, when I was going to school here, and I was working on hot boards, circuit boards and electronics. Not allowed to wear a ring because it's conductive and you're close to a current.
My cats can't wear rings on stage because they're not portraying a married person, so they can't wear them. And people do notice that. There's a show that I watch, and there's a young detective on it, and he's not married, but in a couple of the shows, he does have his wedding ring on. And people have noticed it. Why is he wearing that if he's not a married character?
That's a continuity issue. They usually have a person that does that.
Yes, somebody should have picked that up, that he's wearing his wedding ring. I noticed that if someone gets on stage and it's a period piece and they're wearing a wristwatch, unless they're time traveling, they wouldn't have their wristwatch on. You wouldn't have certain earrings. You wouldn't be wearing your wedding rings. You really have to watch those little tiny
Especially with all the watches we have nowadays.
Oh, God, yes. Yes, you would notice that right away. Absolutely. You can't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So people need to be aware of that, what they're wearing, and hairstyles have to be timely. But that's just...
This is always timely.
Yeah, pretty
Sure.
well. Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Yes and no. There were times when the hairstyles, what the women would do, not the men. The men didn't do it. The men always had, when I was reading a book that was in the 1700s, and I didn't realize it, but the men did all kinds of things with their hair. Wigs were prevalent, so I'll give you that. But they also braided, plaited, put it up. They had very fancy hairstyles for the long hair in the men.
Mm-hmm.
Women had to wear a cap.
Mm-hmm.
And you were not allowed to show any little bit of hair because that was considered risque.
Sounds like what they do with burqas in the Muslim faith.
Yeah. but
Because now they don't show hair because that's considered a temptation
Well,
for other men.
Don't forget the nuns.
Yeah.
And their habits. I used to watch them, and when I was going to catechism, and I'd look and I thought, do they even have hair? I couldn't imagine what a nun looked like without that habit that creased their forehead, and you couldn't see anything. It was just baffling me.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely baffling me. Any more? Any more, dear? That's it for Dear Abby today. We have no more advice.
We may have more if my guest doesn't show up.
Okay. Well, there's a truck coming in. That might be your guest now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yep, probably. All right, on the FM side, it's 901 and change, 89.5 FM WSKB.
Coming to
Yeah.
you from?
Yeah, that's all we need
that's
for legal.
Right. This is Ken's Den. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep forgetting.
Yeah, I got all the information out I needed.
You did.
Yeah, we good.
Top of the hour. Got to do
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are again, and we have a guest coming in today.
Yes, but I'm not going to announce it unless they actually show up, because I don't want to shame them.
Did you promote it?
I wasn't home, so I didn't look at it. Did
The
you?
past couple weeks, I've gone from sitting in front of the TV to bed because I did catch a bug a week and a half ago, and it knocked the heck out of me. So I'm still tired because of it, but I haven't even thought about going on social media. I haven't trolled Facebook in a few days, Kathy.
Oh, it's so funny when you do. It's so funny. I just, every time I see you come up, I smile because they just jump on you.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't get it. They haven't
Right.
gotten it. Oh, well.
There's still a lot of people that take me serious.
They
You know what? When I'm serious, you can probably, if you know me, you know when I'm serious.
Your
Well,
guest is coming. I see him walking across the parking
Because
lot.
when you're serious, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not, it doesn't. And
Right.
people don't catch that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a lot of Facebook. You know, tuna sandwiches are good. No, they aren't. They're terrible. Oh, you can only eat it with mayonnaise. No, it's no good with mayonnaise. You have to have really?
How dare you mention mayonnaise?
Really? Yeah, there you go.
After the major mayonnaise controversy.
Stop it. It just goes on and on and on and on. And I just want to yell, stop.
Mm-hmm.
I just scroll by it. I don't care. I don't
All
want
right.
to see it. I want cat pictures. Neither one of you want cat pictures. I want cat pictures and border collie pictures.
Hey,
That's
Pete,
what makes me happy.
let's do our top of the hour and we'll reset in here.
Burn down the store. Take what you want and more. Shop until you drop. Voodoo consumer never stop. Load up on supplies. No sale, no compromise. Gun crazy down the mall. Voodoo consumer, take it all. Eat this, drink this, try this, charge it, it's fabulous. Step right up and take it, it's fabulous. If you can't afford it, fake it. Be deviously dangerous, ridiculously cool. Let's make it fabulous. 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 dangerous, ridiculously cool. Let's make it fabulous. Too late, voodoo consumer terminus. Eat this, drink this, try this, buy this, wear this, fly this, play this, charge it, it's fabulous. Step right up and take it, it's fabulous. If you can't afford it, fake it. Be deviously dangerous, ridiculously marvelous, meticulously treacherous, disarduously cruel. Just make it fabulous. 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 Fabulous.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Saturdays were made for polka. Tune in to the Polka Jammer Network starting at 6 a.m. and Polka Hall of Famer Billy Bellina, Breakfast at BB at 8:30.
Community radio.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Well, thank God this whole controversy is behind us.
Yeah. And Peter, I'm glad you came to your senses.
Me too. You know, we might even win an award for this.
Really?
Yeah, award voters love it when someone with a right-leaning viewpoint admits they're wrong. They declare it's good storytelling and character development.
Ooh, like 3 billboards.
And Green Book, Driving Miss Daisy.
American History X.
Yeah, all those, and many more. But can anyone name a single movie where someone on the left took on a more Republican-leaning viewpoint? Doesn't even have to have won an award, just has to exist. Anyone? Anything?
Nothing. Nothing. I had to come in with something, and there's no hiding the fact that my next guest here tends to take a conservative view when you see the voting record or some of the interviews in the newspaper. I love that clip. Because, you know, it's tongue-in-cheek, but, you know, it does say something. However, on the local level, we really don't do parties, all right? You know, city government, there's no Republican, no Democrat. But on the state level, we're talking about the state level now, State Representative Kelly Pease, good morning.
Good morning.
You have the R behind your name.
Yes.
How many of you are in the House?
There's 24, but I guess there's going to be 25 because Peter Durant, who won the Senate seat, the person that ran for his seat, a Republican, won. So we'll be back to 25. So
25 out of
160.
Wow.
And then there's 4 senators out of the 40 senators. So out of 200 elected officials in the legislature, there's not quite 30 Republicans.
When you're walking through the halls there or hanging out afterwards, do you take a ribbing from people out there? Or?
No, they try to be cordial because they know they control everything.
Mm-hmm.
We try to make our points. Last week, there was a vote on increasing the migrant shelter money again. So we voted a supplemental budget for $245 million last Wednesday, which brings the grand total up to $820 million. And
how long are we going to keep throwing money at a problem?
That's why we voted against it. It's like we're not against. taking care of people, helping people. You know, we don't want to see any families suffering, but
How about we take care of our own first?
well, that's true, and that's another point that you know
That was part of the bill that was suggested. And
right. We had an amendment that said, well, back in December when they did the last increase, we asked for like, all right, you got to be a resident of Massachusetts a year before you qualify for the, and then they didn't like that. So then we said, okay, for 6 months, because the problem is that Massachusetts is like the beacon in the states. Like if you want really good benefits, you come to Massachusetts. So we got to kind of turn the light off. You know, we don't want to be a Tom Burnett or Hotel 6 anymore, because we need to take care of what we have here, and we can't sustain it. I mean, it's going to be almost $1 billion by the end of the fiscal year to take care of the migrant issue. I mean, a lot of that also supports the schools for taking them inside the school to have more support for, you know, English as a second language and other things. But another thing is I was amazed that we were found out that we were paying each individual person in emergency shelter $64 a day in food. And it's like, that's a lot of money.
What, each person?
Each person.
$64.
Right. So that was
a
another
day.
amendment that they did pass that we put forward that says that it has to go out to a competitive bid. So that's good. But because, I mean, you go to these food shelters, right, or food banks, and they're able to feed people for, what, $10, $15 a day? So we're trying to cut costs wherever we can, but we got to do something. We got to...
Wait a minute, that's $448 a week. Okay? I can't even afford to spend $150 a week for myself with all my other bills. And so we're giving them $448 a week for food.
I don't even spend $448 a month.
That's a week. 64 times 7 is $448.
Yeah.
Could I ask what the rationalization, how was the $64 arrived at?
I don't know. It's just that's what the cost is. Because when we first heard this in our meeting like a couple weeks ago, when we had a Republican caucus, we're like, really, it's that much? I mean, that's ridiculous. And then we came back and they verified that it was 64, and we put this amendment in.
So is that true now, or is that something?
No, that's the way it is right now.
I wonder if it's based on Boston prices. Plus,
I think it's maybe. I would assume, and there I go assuming, which could make an ass out of you and me, but I assume, that it's based on the average across the state. Because if you're going to ask and get a number, how much is this costing you a day for food?
If you're eating filet mignon every day.
Well, whatever. How much is the state paying for food every day? And they say it's averaging $64 a person. So I think they cater it.
I just looked at the government meals and incidentals breakdown, and there's 5 different levels: $59, $64, $69, $74, and $79. And this is so it assumes at the $64 level, $14 for breakfast, $16 for lunch, $29 for dinner, and $5 in incidental expenses.
That sounds.
That's from the federal government.
That
That's
sounds
from the
accurate
USGSA.
if you're going out to eat.
If you're going out to
right, and when you're on the road, like I used to go
So we
temporary
can't-
duty in the military.
And if you're in a hotel,
But
you don't have a
you
kitchen.
would be going out to eat, so you know what? That's not that off.
But $29,
but most
it doesn't even it doesn't even cost you half of that to go to McDonald's to have dinner.
Oh, I don't know. Have you been?
We could cook them. We could cook them meals cheaper
15.
than that.
Yes, you can, but remember that some of them don't have that option. Peter,
Well, a lot of the people are in like motels or whatever,
yeah,
and they
they're,
do have
they're
like
not
hot
in
plates or
they're
whatever.
not in a place where they can
Right.
cook.
I'll start a food truck for $64 a day per person. I'll start a food truck and cook them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'll clean up.
Right. So we have a lot of migrants down in West Springfield, obviously, on the motels on Route 5.
Yes, yes.
Because Mike Finn, who shares a little bit of Westfield with me, is always, when we have meetings with the government, he used to always say, hey, we need to get a better handle on how many migrants are in our city or town, because it was hard for them to get a handle on it. And so he used to raise a little...
I mean, what we're doing now is not sustainable.
No, it's just... Well, and I'll tell you, last year the governor wanted to cap it at 7,500, and the House Speaker pushed back and said, "Oh no, well you can, but you have to have emergency shelters to be able to go over." So it really wasn't a cap. We got to get rid of the right to shelter.
But, we're bound to the right to shelter. We're the only state with that.
Yes, and so we got to get the right to shelter, and we got to just manage how we're taking care of people, how we're paying for people. Because right now, again, we are like, people say, go to Massachusetts, you know, and we're not going to be able to sustain it because it's going to continue to flow in. I mean, we got people living in the airport, then they don't, then they are again because we get capacity.
Right.
So anyway, that's some of the fun we deal with. I don't know what was on this subject, but
no,
It's one of the bigger issues.
It's a touchy subject.
Oh, it is.
And it's a subject that, according to all the newspapers, that's one of the major things on everyone's mind coming up this election cycle.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a big thing.
When I'm at the State House, or even when I'm not at the State House, like yesterday I was in a Ways and Means hearing in Burlington, Mass. Ellen from 22 News, State House reporter, usually will hit me up, especially, and most of the times, the last like 3 or 4 times she's interviewed me, it's always been about the migrant issue, you know, because that's the hot topic.
Yeah. And, you know, why are we in this situation? Why does it seem like the Democrats are overwhelmingly opposite thinking with what you and I have here? Yet I turn around and I see Vilas. He's almost coming across with the same viewpoint as you. We can't afford to keep doing this.
Right. I think most of my colleagues do, but they got to fall in line too. But and that's what's
so it's falling in line with the party and not actually the will of the people.
Right. And sometimes, like a few of the progressives voted with us, maybe because we weren't doing enough for them. I don't know why, but they voted with us on this against the supplement bill.
Yeah.
But then again, a lot of the like gateway cities in Brighton, so if they took over the like community centers where the kids used to go to play basketball or something, they got migrants in there. So
yeah, supposedly they're getting the migrants out of there before the summertime, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know. But you're right. It's an issue where they know it's not right, but they don't want to necessarily call out. I mean, they say the federal government needs to do something. It's their problem. And then, like, the governor, like, when she gave us our meeting with the briefing, that was the day that Senate bill was up for a vote. And she was, like, going, I can't believe, you know, we have this problem, and one man, meaning Trump, is holding it up or whatever. And I'm thinking, we have this problem because President Biden did all these executive orders or canceled all the executive orders that Trump had in place and then opened up the gates, and they've been flooding in ever since. So she really wanted, because it would have gave extra money to the states that were housed.
And, you know, I do have to applaud Healy for going after Biden and Washington, saying you guys got to give us money because you caused it.
Right, absolutely. But again, they keep touting the Senate bill. Well, and I say all the time, I'm like, if the Senate immigrant bill was so good, why did 2 Democrats, Elizabeth Warren and Markey, vote against it?
Well, because it didn't go far enough for them. So the problem is it still allowed more people per day than were coming in under the previous administration.
Yes.
And that was supposedly a good bill.
I know. It was a total crap bill. And we don't need a bill, right? Because the president obviously did this without a bill, and he can undo it without a bill. He can secure the border again, just like President Trump did before he left office. The border was secured. Because remember, in his first of his office, in the beginning of his administration, there was caravans coming up, right? Well, boom, he stopped it. He said, you're not going to get aid down in, here and there, and boom, and it got shut off.
I'm sorry you're stuck in between a libertarian and a Republican today. So sorry about that.
It's okay.
Oh, good, because you're going to hate some of the other things I bring up.
No, I never would. That's not true.
Okay.
We mentioned Healy. All right. A few weeks back, she was proclaiming that even though we're not taking in as much money as we were, our the state tax take is down. We still have a great budget. We still have plenty of money, and I haven't raised taxes. That's what Maura claimed.
Do you remember the conversation we had in the first hour?
So, a few weeks later, in the newspaper, Maura's saying, you know what? I want to make sure that the local government can now raise this tax and this tax and this tax to make up for
But she didn't
her,
raise them.
For her being able to say, I didn't raise taxes.
Right.
And, I have to call her out on that.
Well, I mean, it's up to it's giving the local communities the option, right? Before. So
They're forced into doing it. Though.
Right. Well, yeah, they could be but so they got a $56 billion budget that they're proposing this year. And one of the bad things, again, against the migrants is that you're going to spend $1 billion. Well, Maura Healey just did some 9C cuts, which cut local aid or some of the earmarks that were given to local people, local communities by 50% to make up for some of the budget shortfall.
Yep.
So, again, it's
Boys and Girls Club lost a lot. The Amelia Park lost on that. The library lost on that.
They all did.
Yep. 50%, I think. I don't think.
Yeah,
any of them
yeah,
lost all of them.
50%. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a big cut for some of these agencies. That's
Well,
a real
obviously,
big
you
cut.
go from 50,000 to 25,000. You go from 100,000 to 50,000. That takes a lot of what you're planning to do. So it's tough. But you're right. We're in. For my first couple of years, it was, boom, money. Right? It was out there. You got COVID money. Everybody's got money. Everybody's happy. But now, now it's time to.
I wish the local governments. I mean, I know they took advantage of it, but this dates back to when I was younger with Bill Clinton. We're going to put 500,000 cops on the street. Well, yeah, that was for 2 years, and then the money ran out, and everybody got laid off.
Yeah,
that's what we were going to be dealing with.
This has been going on
next year.
forever. So this kind of stuff's been going on.
And that's
forever.
the problem with the schools, right? I'm a big school advocate. I mean, for unfunded mandates, right? So they say, oh, you got to do this new position and we're going to fund it for 2 years. All right. Well, the requirement doesn't go way after 2 years, but now the local communities have to pay for it. And that's just.
And they've done that with a lot of situations with the schools. I can tell you that from experience, that they will put in a requirement to educate a certain child, and they have a plan, and you have to provide this, and that, but they don't tell you how to pay for it.
No.
But then again, honestly, they do that in our classroom. We have to do so many things, but they don't want to give us the materials.
The ye olde unfunded mandate.
Yeah, it's
right, and that's what I try to advocate against and stuff. And as a member of the education committee and as the ranking member of the higher education committee, but more the education committee, that's what impacts the most is the K through 12 schools where they try to do mandates or requirements. And it's like, you know what this does to the school system? They have to have somebody doing that. You know, I mean.
Yep. It's sad that teachers have to have a GoFundMe in some cities, not necessarily here, but in some cities, a GoFundMe just to buy pencils.
For supplies.
Yeah.
I mean, we get the list every year for school, like, hey, if you can provide, some wipes, some cleaning. So the teacher's not paying for them. So, so we go to BJ's and we try to get some stuff and drop it off at the school to help out. And we always say, like, all right, when you get to December, January, let us know if you need another box.
When I was a kid, we bought a pencil box. That was it.
I don't know, yeah.
But now, and the school provided all that. I remember the big deal was we could take home our rulers and our scissors at the end of the year. That was exciting. Nowadays, you're lucky if they give you scissors in the classroom. Yeah. Oh, maybe they should.
No, because we used to run with them, and that was a no-no.
You probably did.
Did they make you just to use the books over and over again, right? Did they make you, cover your books?
Wait a minute.
You had to cover your books with a paper bag, right?
I remember that when I was a kid.
I got really good at making those.
We don't have books anymore.
Oh, okay. Dating myself now?
Yes, we did. We had the paper covers. Remember, it had George Washington on it? Or it had Abraham. Oh, you don't know that. Okay.
No, we just got brown paper bags.
Yeah, I used brown paper bags
to make your cover for the books to preserve them because they would use them year after year.
Yep.
And there's plenty of brown paper bags because we brought them back.
I had a job at Cathedral when I went to Cathedral. I was the guy that when everybody turned in their books for the summer, I processed all the textbooks, graded them, and priced them for the next year.
Wow.
That's a nightmare.
For the entire school of 2000.
That's a nightmare. What a job.
Paper bags, bad.
You'd rip them off when they'd come in. Some people just dump them out.
Remember that in the 80s?
Yeah.
Paper bags are bad.
Yes.
And then, I was
poor trees.
I was working at ShopRite, I think it was, in the 80s when it was at Little River Plaza. And
Was that Edwards? Was Edwards still there? I don't know.
No, Edwards is where TJ Maxx was.
Yeah, I remember my mom used to go there once in a while.
Yeah.
And then it had a little A&P where the Dollar Tree is over here, whatever.
Yes, yeah, we met.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Mom, that was my day. Stop it.
yeah, I remember, back then I was, 14 years old, paper or plastic. And then if you got paper, double bag that. Double bag it. And so now all of a sudden paper's bad. That's all gone, and all we have are plastic bags. Because now, at that point,
Now the plastic bags
good.
are bad. Plastic's bad again now because of the PFAS.
That's right. That's right.
And it'll choke a duck somewhere.
Yes.
Dolphin.
I like that.
Well, I will make you feel a little bit better. Honestly, Kelly, homelessness has always been an issue, even in colonial days. If you go back over the records in early Westfield, they didn't know what to do with these people then.
Mm-hmm.
They had no idea. If you had family, if you were elderly and infirm or unmarried, if you were the spinster, you lived with family. But they were getting an influx of people who had no one, and they didn't know what to do with them.
Really? Because, I was always under the
historically,
impression...
it's been an issue.
I mean, but for the most part, I thought our old immigration rules were you come in with a sponsor.
Not in early colonial Westfield.
Oh, really?
No, not
Oh,
in
that's
the.
interesting.
We're going back to the 1600s.
Oh,
kiddo.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're
I
going
think you're
way
dealing with
back.
Ellis Island.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, so but when the United States was set up
In
and
the
they controlled it.
In the 1850s, there was a big influx of immigration from Europe, and that's when the Irish, the dirty Irish, that'd be me. That's when my family came in. That's when you had a big influx from your British Isles because the potatoes were
Right.
failing.
Was
All
that
the
the- that was
crops
the
were
famine? I
failing.
thought the famine was
And
a
you
little
had
later
huge
now.
famine. So in the 1850s,
Oh.
you're getting a lot of influx
Mm-hmm.
from the European. There was no numbers then. What they did is certain people that they didn't want, they put a number on, and you had to have a sponsor.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The Chinese, for a long time, you had to, when Sue's came in, remember Sue's restaurant? You don't remember Sue's restaurant?
Seems like I should.
So's?
Do you remember? No, it was Sue's.
Was
not
it Sue?
So's.
It wasn't So?
No, it was not. There was Yu Su and Wang Su.
Okay.
The two of them ran Sue's
It was right next to the
restaurant.
Whip Museum.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a line to get in there.
It was the only Chinese
Yeah,
restaurant
they did
within
very,
a
very
40-mile radius.
They had to
Yeah.
have a sponsor to come to the United
Oh, yeah?
States. I don't know when they came. I know they were here in the 1950s, but they needed sponsors. It was the Chinese immigration law.
And,
So later,
and bless them for that. Otherwise, none of us ever would have had those almond cookies.
oh my gosh, they were the best. Oh, I love those cookies. But anyway, yes, and immigration laws did come into pass after we got all these influx of people. We couldn't take them all.
Right. And obviously, I mean, the biggest thing that you got to be worried about is how many thousands of bad people are coming in. You know, I mean, because they know that somewhere on the
Notice that
watch.
look away on that.
Yeah. I mean, the
Well,
guy
there's
was-
precedent for it too. Like, so the Mariel boat lift was all Cuban. They basically loaded out
right?
emptied out the prisons and
And
said,
that's what it sounds like
"Here,
they're
get
doing
on
in
a boat."
Venezuela. That's what they're doing in Venezuela, it sounds like. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, the gang
Yep.
problem in New York City's getting. Well, they're seeing the majority of it, but I'm waiting for it to come to smaller towns because the gangs will say, all right, well, when this big cities start cracking down, they're going to go elsewhere because that's what happened around here years ago. Springfield cracked down on the gangs. They moved to Holyoke. Holyoke's chief said, I ain't dealing with this. Cracked down on the gangs. They moved to Greenfield. Greenfield cracked down on the gangs, and they moved to Brattleboro. So they just keep moving up the 91 corridor. And Brattleboro's a mess right now. I wouldn't walk around the streets in Brattleboro right now.
Yeah, that's been going on for a while.
So if we
Last
keep that up,
15
we should
years.
just be
Lot
able
of
to flip
issues
them over to
with it.
Canada, eh?
They're coming into the northern border, too.
I don't know. They won't be able to speak up there if you.
I get
Trudeau
very
passes his law.
suspicious when I hear in the news that, these random men have been found in a car somewhere up in Vermont. I get a little suspicious because why would you be up there?
Well, the other thing they found, too, is that the gangs are doing salvage titles. Vermont has very lax rules about salvage titles.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they're taking cars that have been totaled getting a salvage title, fixing them up, and selling them whether they're defective or not, or just using them. You see a lot of plates. I've noticed a lot of plates with Vermont plates in the cities. It's just like all kinds of things you hear from people, and you see things that are going on. There's just lots of stuff going on. But yeah, that gang thing has been moving. They've been migrating north to places of less resistance for the past 20 years.
And it's very difficult to discourage, Peter, because of the money that backs them. You know, when you tell a 16-year-old kid they can make $20,000 a week, how do you combat that?
Well, you give them no other other alternatives. Yes.
What do you do?
Yeah.
20 grand a week?
Nope.
Dealing drugs?
Money these kids are making? Holy
yeah,
moly.
dealing drugs.
Sign me up.
Holy moly.
Kenny, you in the last 10 minutes, they beat the snot out of you.
See, you know, that says something, because you're saying they beat the crap out of me. Yeah, you don't bring fists to a gunfight. Come on.
That's right.
But there's so many, like, there's so. The thing is we
walked into that one. I'm sorry.
We as a country focus on these things that I think are inconsequential, and they're the things that are given to us in our media feeds and all that kind of stuff, and we're really not dealing with any issues. Like, it's just we're not.
But I think maybe, Peter, and this is the last thing I'll say for now. I think sometimes the inconsequential is solvable. The consequential ones like bullying and overcrowding and drugs, we don't know how to solve them, do we, Kelly? Do you know how to solve these issues?
Well, the drug issue, obviously, we've been fighting since Reagan, right? The war on drugs.
Just say no.
Just say no, right? This your brain on crack, the egg going in the...
But that doesn't work.
But I will tell you, though, if we don't secure the border, right now the Chinese are sending fentanyl through the border at an extreme, I mean, from Mexico up, and it's killing people. And the sad thing is, it's not killing people that are thinking they're taking fentanyl or taking an opioid. They're lacing it with everything, right? I mean, we had people die that were smoking marijuana they bought from somebody, and it was laced with fentanyl, and they died. I mean, you know...
But there's double fault here. The people taking it are just as much at fault. How do we stop them?
But marijuana's legal. How is that a fault?
But no, I'm not talking about marijuana. Marijuana isn't killing anybody.
Yeah,
so
it is, because they're lacing with fentanyl now.
But I guess it would be
But
illegal
how
because
do
they're
you
not buying
tell
it in a
them-
legal spot.
But how do you tell them no? How do you hit the problem that people have addiction? And I don't know how to stop that.
Somebody... Well, the addiction piece is tough, and that's and that's what you got to accept. But again, when you have stuff that isn't as addictive, like supposedly like marijuana, and it's getting laced with fentanyl and killing people, then you got more of another issue.
Where is it getting laced? I haven't heard that.
Well,
where is it getting laced specifically?
Well, I believe the two people that owned a package store in Chester were smoking marijuana, and they died because it was laced with fentanyl in Huntington.
I don't know. I didn't hear that. I'll look it up.
Okay.
I didn't hear that one before.
No, I didn't hear that.
All right,
either.
well, you didn't hear it from me.
Well, now that it's
I hear Peter's fingers going on the keyboard.
Yeah,
in
find
there.
it, Peter. That'd be great.
But heroin, crystal meth, those are definitely laced with fentanyl coming over the border.
They're cutting it to make more money. Yeah, it's awful. It's awful.
Because fentanyl,
it's another reason why we got to control our border.
And you know, cocaine you have to grow, okay, and then you have to produce it. Whereas fentanyl, it's synthetic.
Yep.
All right, you make it in a lab, so you're gonna see more and more fentanyl based and fentanyl laced products coming through, because you know they're making it in a lab, so they're not
the production's ways easier.
They're not laying out a lot of money. So when they lose $1 million, $2 million, $3 because it gets caught at the border, they're not taking that large a cut.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quote unquote safer for the cartels to deal with fentanyl than it is with cocaine.
Yes. Yes. Okay. We should probably get off the drug topic.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a depressing topic.
Well, so on that claim, there's several news outlets that have reported deaths on it, but then the government's trying to say that, well, no, there's nothing to see here. But there's news outlets actually reporting it. Several TV stations have reported on different states across the country. I'm reading down the headlines, and government organizations or government outlets are trying to say no, and the TV stations are saying yes.
To what? I'm confused.
That fentanyl, there's deaths occurring from fentanyl-laced marijuana, specifically.
But what about the ones here?
I'm looking in Ohio.
Okay.
Are
these states where marijuana is legal?
Yes, Missouri.
And they're still lacing it.
Absolutely.
I don't think the
it's
stuff
not coming from legal sources.
Yeah, you don't go to a dispensary and get laced marijuana
because they're highly regulated.
Somebody's still growing it. It's not the marijuana that's dangerous. It's the fact that outside of the legal system, they're tampering it. That's a whole other issue.
But it's still they're tampering marijuana. So somebody thinks it's a safe thing no matter where they get it from.
But yes, that's the problem. But that's the problem with anything. If I buy something, I've got to be careful where I'm buying it from.
Yeah.
You have to know your source. I don't care if I'm going to Amazon. I need to buy something.
Yeah,
with it.
weed has never been a thing you would worry about the source. You just worry about what strain you're getting, and that's about it. But yeah, I think we beat that one like a dead horse. What time is it? 9:36. Let's take a break. We'll figure out what direction we want to go in when we get back.
Take your baby by the hand and make her do a handstand. And take your baby by the heel and do the next thing that you feel. We were so in phase in a dance all days. We were cool on craze. When you, and everyone we knew could believe, do, and share in what was true. Oh, I said, that's all days long. Take your baby by the hair and pull her close and there. And take your baby by the ears and play upon her darkest fears. We were so in phase in a dance hall days. We were cool on craze. When you, and everyone we knew could believe, do, sharing what was true. I said, dance all days, love. Dance all days. Dance all days, love. Take your baby by the wrist and in her mouth an amethyst. And in a red to sapphire's blue. And you need her and she needs you. 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 We were so in phase in a dance hall days. We were cool on craze. When you, and everyone we knew could believe, do, and sharing what was true. Oh, I said, that's all days long. That's all days long. That's all days. That's all days long.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Listen to me, Michael Buster McMahon, Mondays 8 to 10 a.m. to learn the stories behind your favorite songs. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
I think you should all be nicer to Will Wheaton. The way I treat my colleagues. Wait, what? I said you ought to be nicer to Will Wheaton.
You mean Will Wheaton?
Yes, Will Wheaton.
Why are you saying it like that?
Well, I'm just saying you should be nicer to Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton seems like a nice guy.
Say wheat.
Wheat.
Now, say Will Wheaton.
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 Hey, did you hook up with Whoopi Goldberg on the show?
All the time.
9:41.
When
Whilst.
Whilst. Every time I say whilst, I think of you.
Whilst.
Every time.
I love that word.
I read it in a book and I say, oh my God, it's Ken. It's Ken.
So, whilst I was looking at social media the other day, I saw something, Kelly, about you being in Germany. Now, was that an older post, or did you go there again?
No, so we went there. My wife last year said for our trip, either February or April school vacation, she wanted to go out west and go skiing, and I said, well, why don't we go back to Garmisch? There's a military.
Okay, so back to. Okay.
Right, because we lived in Stuttgart for 3 years. We used to go there for long weekends. It's a military resort on the German-Austrian Alps. Well, it turns out that it sounds like that was probably a lot cheaper trip than going out west because, well, unless you have some passes that you're going to get some ski stuff, the ski tickets out west, I think, are like a couple $100 a day or something. And then if you want to stay at a resort, like where we had an indoor heated pool and a big hot tub and everything at this military, it's going to be probably, I don't know, probably $400 a night. I'm not sure out west. You know, I've heard it's pretty expensive. I'm not sure. I haven't been out there, but we stayed here for $200 a night, and we went skiing on the German-Austrian Alps, and then we went also down to the Austrian-Swiss Alps, and we got lift tickets for the three of us. It was under $200 in both places.
Now, do you hop in the back of a C-130 to get over there?
No. This time we paid. I bought the tickets, but I will take the cheap flight. We're planning to go at Thanksgiving after the election for a week because I'm going to be a grandfather. So.
Oh wow!
So.
Congrats.
Thank you. So my son in the Air Force over in Ramstein, who I went and saw at the beginning of December last year, right after, and I did the cheap flight, right? And
when we say cheap flight, are we talking the back of a C-130?
No, it was a contract air flight.
Oh, okay.
It was a regular airplane.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
Certain times, if you can get on Space A, you will ride like a cargo.
So you can get on a cargo, okay.
Yeah. But these are the Patriot flights. They go every 3 or 4 days. And as long as, again, as a retiree, you could get bumped. But that time of year, it wasn't busy at all. I mean, the whole back of the plane was empty. I put up the things in the middle row and laid down for the whole trip. You know? It was great. Both ways, actually. So my family can do that, too, because they're ID card holders. So
Can I be one of your family members?
So we're planning to go over and see my son and see our new grandchild in November. They're due in August, so that'll give them a couple months to establish. And then and hang out there for a week. So we'll get
That's really cool.
Well, we will get a hotel right near him, so we're not encroaching the three of us on him with the baby, and you know.
You want to get some sleep.
Well, yeah, and I don't want them worrying about us while they're, you know. I mean, we'll go and visit and hang out during the day.
Yeah,
or
with
whatever.
with a brand new newborn.
Yeah. So, but it's pretty exciting, you know. So
how deep do you get into the culture over there?
I don't know. It's Germany. I like Germany.
Yeah.
I mean, we lived there for 3 years. I can't speak any German, but they all speak pretty good English. So. Unless you get to the rural places, so then it's pretty good.
Basically, stick. Here's a good question, because I know popular areas in Europe and Asia, they're inundated with American chains. So you can go to a major area almost anywhere in this world, And no, believe it or not, KFC of all things.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
Well, they got KFC, they got Starbucks, they got McDonald's, and of course
Mhm.
McDonald's they'll sell you beer there because it's Germany. Every place sells beer, so it's pretty cool.
And you can, I think you can be 18 over there in order to.
I think it's 16.
16. Wow.
Yeah, there's some young kids that go to the October and Spring
Yeah.
Fest and stuff
Yeah.
because they're. You can drink beer, I think, at 16. You just can't drink the harder liquor stuff until I think after 18.
Yeah, obviously you've established that there are some American chains out there, but do you try to do more German cuisine when you're out there?
Oh,
or-
absolutely. Matter of fact, at least once in a while, I'll have to go down to because I like the Munich House in Chicopee. Go down
Mhm.
there, get my Jaeger Schnitzel and everything. It's good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What's also interesting when you go to like Europe, most places in Europe, when you order a meal
Mhm.
and you get a salad, they're not asking you what kind of dressing. You're getting the dressing they have.
Uh-huh.
That's it, the house dressing. That's what you're getting.
Mhm.
You know, so it's kind of just a different thing. It's like, you know, so
That wouldn't be too shocking to me because whenever salad's part of a meal for me, what type of dressing you want, I just go house.
yeah.
You know, yeah, just
Right. Well, and I
whatever,
tell you what,
yeah.
anywhere, I don't think I've had a bad dressing. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
usually a light creamy dressing or something. Or
Mhm. Pete, what's the name of that place we go to in Florida?
Oh,
It's right on the water.
The Hoffman.
The Hoffman.
House.
Yeah. I get the spatzel there.
Oh yeah.
And
Does it have bacon bits and stuff in it too? Oh,
No, they just do it with the brown butter.
No, it was brown butter.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
But it was, if you know what the dough of like a true pierogi is like,
Yeah.
it's like eating that off the plate down there. I can't find anything like it in this
And
area.
the bar's right on the water.
If you get the cheesy spatzel with, I mean, we used to get a cheesy spatzel with bacon over in a little town that we live next to. Well, we order that for the kid because
Sounds like a loaded baked potato. Yeah.
Yeah. See, now I want to go. See, I'm one who bucket list is Southeast Asia, Japan. I never really thought much about going to Europe or the UK, but talking about this cuisine, I'm like, I could spend a couple of days over there.
Oh yeah, I mean, and what's great about living in Stuttgart? It's so centrally located. I mean, you just hop to wherever.
Yeah. Deal with a train over there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like when my little guy Riley was 2 years old because he was born there, or 2 months old. He took his first trip, and we went. And I was supposed to go down to Vicenza, which is near Venice, Italy, to train a unit and talk to them for a couple days. And I said, "Well, is it all right if I take the train?" And he said, "Yeah." So as long as it's not any more than the plane ticket that the military would have paid for, So we got the 3 tickets, train tickets, and went down there, the family, and we set the kid on the floor of the train. Slept good. We wake him up every couple hours, feed, change him, put him on there. It's bouncing. He's good, Best sleep he's
Now,
ever.
was that a normal commuter train or was it high speed?
Oh no! It was high speed because it went. Well, we went to Munich, changed, and then we got the train that went through the Alps down into Italy, down to Venice. And then it was.
There's a live YouTube channel, Pete, with that train that cuts through the Alps.
Yeah, the
and
Netherlands. Yeah.
Yeah, I've sat there just watching it, mesmerized for like an hour before.
When we were skiing in the Austrian Swiss Alps, because they had this trail that you would take lifts, runs, and you could go all the way over to Switzerland and come back.
Wow.
I couldn't do it because my legs aren't going to handle it. But my wife and kid went over to Switzerland and got some Swiss chocolate and duty free. But you get up to the high points, and it's like I'd say, just look at it. You take some pictures. Just look at it. It's just majestic.
How do you keep up with her? Because I know she just ran her longest distance ever recently, right?
Yeah, she just did a 16-mile this Saturday. I don't know because she's
wow.
training for a marathon, right? So last year, this time she was training for a couch to 5K, the flat 5K here in Westfield, right? So then she got into it more, and she ran her first half marathon in Hartford in the fall. So then she said, "I'm going to run a marathon." So now she signed up for the Providence Marathon in May. So her and her friend went up to Hampton Beach and did another half marathon. But now, like, she's got to do a long run. Like, she did her 60 miles. So, like, in another week or so, she'll have to go out and do a 20-mile on a Saturday or something, you know. And then I think that's as most she runs to lead up to train for the marathon at 26 miles. So
I've seen this thing recently in a magazine. I think it's called Ultra Running or something like that, where
I don't know, she gets a program from Runner's World or whatever, and she just follows it, and she's very good about it, you know. So I said, okay, I'll try to do the couch to 5K because.
Did you end up doing more couch than 5K?
So far, I think.
Yeah.
I got to get out there and get some more running. I ran the other day, but before the German, I was doing good. But I've only run the one time since I've been back, so I need to get back on the patch because I plan to do the flat 5K.
Yeah, you're doing a lot better than me.
I don't know. I weigh the most I've ever weighed in my life right now.
So you wanted to tell us
Can't
about
tell.
your budget.
Oh, yeah. So right now, being on Ways and Means, it's our busy time. So we go around the state and do hearings and listen from different agencies and departments. Like, again, yesterday I was down in Berlin, Mass, listening to Health and Human Services. Today, thank God, we're in Stick. We're right here. So after I get done here, I'm going to Stick. And some more Health and Human Service, some more Veterans Affairs and things like that. And last week we were in Gloucester. So we do, and then the week before we were up in Greenfield Community College for the education hearing. So we go around, we wrap that up on the 26th back in the State House. And then we prepare the budget in the House. And at the end of April, we do our budget week, or 3 or 4 days. And we vote on all the amendments and everything, and we pass our budget for the House. And then it goes to the Senate, and then they do their voting at the end of May, and then it goes to a conference committee, and then however long that takes to work out the differences, then it'll finally go to the governor. So that's kind of the process. I mean, it's supposed to be done by the end of June, obviously.
I was going to say,
but it
usually,
never has been. We're
yeah.
usually one of the last states to finish in the country, you know. So, which is tough for some of the local communities because they want guarantees that what they're going to get for money. So they can
And every time you do that, you have to approve a special 30-day 1/12 budget.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. So so that's kind of what's going on right now, and then it's busy. But in this year we stop a little earlier because it's election year, so we don't go formal sessions up through November like last year. We'll stop in July. I think the end of July we finish wrapping up. So the budget's got to be done pretty much there. Because then if you have an opponent, it lets you go back to your district and campaign and run for office again if that's what you want to do. So, and I am running for office. I picked up my nomination papers, so I'm getting signatures, and hopefully the people will be gracious enough to give me a couple more years, and we'll see.
I don't have any complaints about you yet.
Not yet. Good. I appreciate that. You know, I say I might be concerned, but I just try to do the best job I can. And the best thing is when you help constituents, like some.
You help Westfield. You don't help the Republicans
or Southampton
out here.
Right. Right. They call and they have like a SNAP issue or unemployment issue, and we help get it resolved in a timely manner. You know,
how's Southampton taken to you?
I think they're all right. They reach out to me. I go and hang out there. So in Southampton's a little more split. I mean, we're pretty split here in Westfield now. In Southampton's pretty split as well. You know, you got
we're still majority undeclared around here.
Huh?
What do you mean by split? Just for the listeners.
Oh, for Democrat, Republican, kind of leaning, voters. So it's kind of split. So it's good.
Do you think that, and I don't know, I'm just asking, when you talk about them being split, is it more an issue or is it more on party? Does that make sense? Do you think people in Massachusetts are more concerned with issues or party?
Well, I don't know, because it used to be issues. It used to be issues, but right, and then Trump, and they made it about the parties, right? Because when you have the current president calling half the country as in deplorables.
Yeah, but do you think that the state, I don't know. I think you're right. On the local level, it's more issues. We
Right.
don't think party.
Yes.
So does that carry over in Massachusetts or?
I think so. I mean, like when I used to knock on doors, right? And people would say, well, what are you voting for or whatever, or who you vote for because I was running when Trump was 2020, you know? who you voting for? And I said, well, it really doesn't matter at the national level. I mean, I am a Republican, but I'm fighting for more money for roads and more money for schools. Now, if that's not an across-the-board issue, I don't know. Right?
I would never ask you who you're voting for.
Well, some people
that,
did.
To me, that's not important. It's,
right.
It's
They're like, no, if you're voting for him, I could never vote for you.
No,
I've had that.
No. Do you ask people who they're voting for?
I can, by their actions, I can tell.
I would never do. No, I just.
Yeah, I don't hold it against anyone.
I
who they
would
vote
want
for.
to know how you felt on schools. I would want
Right.
to know how you felt on law enforcement, on immigration,
Right.
on
Those are the
politics in
issues.
general.
Yep.
But I would not care who you personally are voting for.
Right. No,
That's up to you.
no, I appreciate, and you're right. Where you stand on the issues, because then I know how you're going to vote if a bill comes up in that area. That would be more important than than who you're going to vote for. How are you going to? How do you feel on certain issues? Whether
And you've always been pro public safety and pro schools. I
Yes.
mean,
It's very
and
pro school. I'll vote
yeah.
for anybody that's pro school.
right, and I always say, because I'll never get the endorsement of the teachers union, because if you're not a D, you don't get it. But and I say, but I don't care about the unions. I care about the teachers and the administrators. I used to go and talk to teachers when I knocked on doors or principals or something. I said, "What's your biggest thing?" And every one of them, unfunded mandates. You know. So it's like if you can help with that. I mean, obviously more money for pupils, and now Southampton, you got a regional transportation too. They want to make sure because they go to Hampshire. So you get different issues there. But I understand about that because I grew up in Gateway, so I know that.
Oh, I forget you're a Gateway.
Yes, I am.
No, that's a great school. I love the Gateway schools.
Yeah, well,
Great
it was
school system.
it was a great place to go and grow up, I think, and but then we came to Westfield for all the amenity. Westfield was the big city.
We used to have the Gateway students years and years and years ago. They came to Westfield.
Really?
Way before your time.
Well, not always, because where I grew up, they had Chester High School, and they still have a reunion. My mom graduated
My mother grew up in the Warnoco Russell section, and they came to
to Westfield.
High.
Yeah,
But I'm talking back in the 20s.
right. Well,
Before my time. There was a before my time, you know.
there wasn't before your time.
I didn't come on the ark, just so you know. Because I couldn't find anyone to come with me.
Yeah, there's a dinosaur
I
electrical
know.
joke
There's
here
a joke
somewhere.
there.
Look at this, 9:17 and change. Kelly Peace, I want to thank you for coming in here and giving us an hour that you're never going to get back.
I know we didn't even do the what is it the top 10.
I haven't written a new one yet.
Oh, okay. So next time.
Yeah, I've taken the time off from that.
Next
so,
time I'll bring Ethan for that one too.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
I forgot. I totally when I was driving over here, I'm like, oh, I usually take Ethan to these, and I
Well, he's been out gallivanting the world lately too.
a little bit.
So
He's taking care of a lot of our constituents.
okay.
for us,
his father said that he was out and about a lot now.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of being home, but most everything that he does though can be remote, like my job.
A lot of things,
Yeah,
right?
You're all internet.
Well,
based.
except for when I need him to cover for an event because I got to be at the State House, and he should be here for the ribbon cutting to represent my office.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. So,
all right. So I want to thank you once again for coming in. Want to do it again in a few months?
absolutely, yep.
All right.
We'll see you.
All right. Next week, making the list. Stefan Zaporowski is the reigning champ now, right? He won last
I
week.
don't know. It's never me, so I don't know.
Last month, I
give
should
up.
say. Peter,
never win.
Did Zap win last month?
Yes.
Okay, good. So he will be picking the topic. I'll be reaching out to him in a few days, and I'll get that email out to everyone who plays Making the List end of the week. 2 weeks from now, guess what?
I know. And I have someone coming in for Peter, but I'm not telling him who it is.
Very interesting. Co-host? Are you talking about?
No, he's a guest.
Okay.
She, he. I have Harry Rock on board again. The first hour, we have some local entertainers. And then on the second hour, we have some more Robin Hood people coming in. But I'm not telling anybody who's coming in.
All right. I have to start putting an effort into here because this woman over here is going to start showing me up
Yeah,
here.
but I only do it once every great while. So
You've been
it's
doing it at
easier.
least once a month lately.
But it's easier for me. You do it every week, and finding people every week. We're just fortunate to have Kelly, who will come in more than once and put up with us. So
I have fun.
He actually
we do
asked.
appreciate you coming in. And it's good to have someone to argue with because it's always good to have dissension. It really is. And agree at the end of the day. As Peter said, you can disagree, but I really respect everybody else's
If it was 6 o'clock at night, we'd be getting off the air here. I'd be going out and having a beer with this gentleman. But
Well, you could still do that.
it's after 12 somewhere, right? No. You have to get over the stick.
If you were in Germany, you'd have it for breakfast. See? Actually, in the early days, they always served beer because
You can
the
drink the
water
water.
was terrible. They didn't drink the water.
Yeah.
So they drank beer here. Children drank beer.
Yeah, if you go to
Very
Germany, you got to go to
common.
Heidelberg, the biggest wine cask, where all the local food just come in and dump all different kinds of wines in there.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, in America, we call that white Zinfandel. With that, that's all the time we have. I'll catch you next week.